What's up? This is an interesting one. It's going to be about shampoo is a lie. And why you shouldn't use it, I guess. Let's get into this and see what this man has to say.
Okay. This is going to piss some people off. Some of you are going to turn your backs on me forever. Sorry to see you go. I have to tell you this reality. I have not shampooed my hair for 5 years. And yet those 5 years have been some of the best 5 years of my hair's life. No more itching, no more oily hair, no more dandruff flakes, just normal hair that does weird stuff sometimes, but is generally happy. Let me explain. Go ahead, take a good look. I know everyone's already doing it anyway. Look at my hair. I've never felt so conscious about my hair because I'm talking about it. Okay, so 5 years ago, I realized that I was in a cycle. The cycle looked like this. My head, which produces natural protective oils, would be washed with shampoo. Shampoo is just a chemical that attaches to these oils on your scalp. And then when you wash that shampoo out, the oils are attached to them and they leave, ridding your head of oils. The shampoo also cleans off any pollen or dust that's caught in your hair. So my hair was now clean, very clean. Oh yeah, and this guy isn't me. This is just a stock footage representation.
No way. What? It's not you? Are you sure?
Of me 5 years ago. Anyway, then goes in the conditioner, which coats your hair with silicone material that makes it shine and restores all of that shine that was lost from stripping away all of those oils. Man, I haven't used conditioner in a very long time, but I do remember that it makes your hair feel like silky butter. Silky butter, is that even a thing? Okay, so you strip away the oils, you coat it with this shiny, silky conditioner, and then my hair would end up just being sort of like a fluff ball. In order to style it, I would put in some product, like some fancy pomade I bought at some fancy barber in Chicago. This pomade is made of, wait for it, oil. It is oil.
Wait. Okay, wait. So, you're removing the oil, adding like some sort of protective barrier over with the conditioner, and then you're adding oil back into your hair, and then you're removing the oil from your hair. Okay, I can see where he's going with this. See, you know, I barely even use conditioner most of my life, and I always used just shampoo. I literally take a shower pretty much every day, and I would shampoo my hair every day. And then, you know, the reason I started doing that was because my hair would get so oily and it feels gross. So I know this is going to blow your mind, but I watched this video a couple weeks ago and I actually decided to try it out and not wash my hair. And weirdly enough, so far, dude, it's actually... it's felt fine. I take a shower, you know, and like wash the rest of my body every day, but I don't put any shampoo, conditioner, or soap into my hair. And my beard and hair have felt great. It has gotten oily sometimes, but it doesn't last, weirdly enough. Like my hair is not nearly as oily as it used to be. So I'm on this. I'm on this bandwagon. I'm gonna see where it leads and what it does, and I'll let you guys know. But I was sold when I heard the first 2 minutes of this video.
Oil-based product. So I'm putting oil back in my hair after I just stripped it all out. Meanwhile, my scalp is like, whoa, dude, you just stripped away all this protective oil that we make to protect your...
You know, and interestingly enough, I think that maybe that was another reason that I got a lot of acne when I was younger. Not only from the hormone production and like me going through puberty, right? But another thing was because I'm constantly stripping away the oil, and then I didn't even use conditioner, right? So that's even worse. I would never use conditioner. So I would just use the oil. I would just use the shampoo, and not to mention it was not a great shampoo. It was something lame like Dial or whatever, like just a crappy shampoo that's not really good for you. And then it would make my hair so oily. And when I used to have longer hair, I think the oil would like, you know, just stay in there and it would just overproduce so much oil trying to like, you know, take care of all this hair I had on my head. And in reality, it's like, then it would like go down my face and I would get like, oil and like um, acne on my hairline and in my scalp. And another weird thing is, I used to get acne on my scalp sometimes, like not a lot, but occasionally. And since not washing my hair, after like the first week, most of that just went away. Like I haven't had any weird acne in my scalp. Um, I bumped my head the other day, so I had an actual uh, scab in my scalp, but that was it. And I feel like maybe it made me increasingly go bald quicker too by not using or using too much shampoo and washing my hair every day. So
your scalp, WTF. And so it fires up its natural oil making machine to produce more oil for your hair. So now you have double oil. You've got the pomade and the natural oils. So now by the end of the day, you start to feel like your hair is super oily and greasy, and you have all these messages about dirty hair being greasy and oily.
Hey, you have got greasy hair though, bro.
Oh, come on, man.
So what's the cure for this oily, greasy, dirty hair? Shampoo!
Deep cleansing shampoo. It helps take away the excess dirt and oils that can be inside your hair. Right, I reckon we should give it a go and get you washed up.
Let's do it.
And the whole cycle starts over again. In my mid-20s, I also started to realize that my scalp was starting to become like itchy and flaky, which is like so embarrassing, so uncomfortable. And yet, luckily, out there in the world, there is a cure for this.
The problem of flaking dandruff can be solved with just regular use of Procter & Gamble's.
yeah, so then the shampoo companies make something to deal with the dandruff that potentially they're actually causing by making your scalp and your body produce all this oil, and then you removing it, and then oil, and then removing it, and then more, and then oil, and then removing it. And it's just a vicious cycle. It's actually pretty crazy.
New Wonder Shampoo, Head and Shoulders.
Okay, listen, just a quick moment to make it clear that this cycle is my hair experience, which is based on not only my physiology and genetics, but also on my standards and relationship to society and what society tells me to do with my hair. So just to get this out of the way, I'm not here to preach what's right for your scalp. I'm simply telling you what's right for my scalp. In fact, there's this whole movement, sort of a political movement around shampoo and not shampooing. It's called No Poo, which is a very unfortunate name for this movement. I'm not a part of that movement. I'm not pushing that. This isn't political for me. I just want to tell you a story about the journey of my hair using a little bit of history and data and research.
Also, dude, this guy's eyes, bro, they're like almost gray but brown. It's pretty freaking cool eye color, not gonna lie.
And again, most importantly, my own experience of 5 years of not shampooing my hair. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's get some context here. Human beings used to not wash their hair very much at all. It was only by the 1970s when ads targeted mainly towards white women would come out saying that you needed to wash your hair every single day, and that the dirt in your hair was like weighing it down.
That attract dirt and weigh hair down like this.
And that in order to prevent this weighing down and to get body, you would have to use this product.
That's actually kind of crazy. Did not know that. I mean, it makes sense. You know, there are so many things that we do nowadays that if you really think about it, you know, the humankind as a species has been around the planet for a lot of years, depending on where you fall on that. But it's a significant portion of the world as we know it. And we didn't wash our hair until very recently, which is kind of weird to think about. But I do think that it's like, you know, we're creatures just like any other animal. And most other animals don't wash their hair, especially not with like a soap of any kind. They might do some things that are natural, like I know like cats and dogs will roll in dirt because weirdly enough it actually like cleans off it like cleans their coat and makes it actually softer eventually. And I think it also like helps prevent bugs from being inside. I don't know, it's kind of some crazy stuff. But nature has a way of finding a way to preserve what it thinks you need. So I would guess that the human body has many things that were built in there that, you know, make it to where you wouldn't need to shampoo your hair all the time. Anyways, I'm still trying it, so
This
we'll
also
see. I'll let you
started a whole
know.
new set of messaging.
I'm letting my hair grow back
greasy
out too
hair,
because I
dirty
shaved it
hair,
all the
which
way
even
off.
saying it is like repulsive. So demonizing the idea
So we'll
of
see.
greasy hair.
We'll see what happens
and
as it gets
pushing
longer,
this
if it
daily
really gets
shampoo
gross.
regimen was seen as the only way to fight back against this greasy hair epidemic. Today, Americans wash their hair around 5 of the 7 days of the week. By the way, that's about double how much they wash their hair on average in Spain and Italy. And it's way more than the once a month Americans used to wash their hair in the 30s. So let me tell you the story of how this all went down, because I didn't like grow up as a non-shampooer. 5 years ago, I had bought this really expensive, fancy tea tree oil-based dandruff shampoo because I had so much itchiness and flakiness everywhere. I was so tired of that and I was so embarrassed by it. So I was diligent. I would wash my hair with this tea tree oil shampoo every day. The marketing on this told me that I shouldn't use any other shampoos, that all the other shampoos were the devil, and that this was the only thing I could use to treat my dandruff. I ran out of this shampoo while we were on like a trip, so I couldn't order it. And I was just like, okay, when I get back, I'll order the shampoo and I'll get back onto it. And it like took a while. We were on some long trip. I get back, I forget to order the shampoo. I was getting worried about this, but soon, after like 3 weeks of this sort of fear of using other shampoos, I noticed that the itching started going away and that the greasy hair feel started to actually level out. It was actually okay, and I was secretly like, ooh, I probably just got used to it or something. But the key moment happened when I went in to get a haircut, having not washed my hair with shampoo for like a month. I was actually really nervous and conscious of what the barber was gonna say to me, and he didn't say anything. So I asked him, I was like, hey, how does my hair and scalp look to you? And he was like, looks good. It's a little dry, but overall pretty healthy. And that was the moment for me. I was like, wait, what? This guy who sees like dozens of scalps every day, dozens of scalps, that's actually really gross, like dozens of scalps. I'm just never gonna say that again. This guy sees a lot of scalps every day, and he had like blessed my unshampooed scalp and was like, you're actually okay. Now, let me just remind you that I've told some of my close friends this story before, and they have tried it and it hasn't worked for them. I'm not saying that this exact thing is going to work for you. The reason I am making this video, because I want us to have reasons to be skeptical of all the messages that we get fed around this topic.
Nourishing damaged hair back to healthy life.
Regular washing is the only way that you can get rid of that excess oil.
I feel
Yeah, I would agree. Like, you know, it honestly makes a lot of sense that they would make marketing schemes to make you feel like you need to do it more. It's like the same idea as like why women started shaving their legs. They basically kind of got like guilt tripped into it, and it was, hey, and I mean, I do think that legs that aren't shaved maybe don't look as great or anything, and it is awesome to see and feel like shaved legs, I mean. But it's also like interesting that there are so many things that used to be commonplace and it was not a big deal, and all of a sudden were turned into this big deal where you had to do it now, and you were gross if you didn't do it anymore. And I think here is kind of the same thing. Hair care has evolved, you know, same with like the idea of makeup and how much you need. And they're constantly adding more and more products for you to use so you can spend more and more money, and they can just suck the money right out from you, you know? Kind of crazy to think about. I think you should be skeptical.
no grease.
A few years ago, I read this kind of obnoxious business book that said that the best way to market a product is to create a psychological trigger that makes people need your product. The example used in the book was this toothpaste in like the 50s or 60s, where the ad for this toothpaste called attention to this, quote, dangerous coating that robs the teeth of their whiteness. Like this film coating that's like on your teeth every time you eat, and it's like dangerous and bad and socially unacceptable. Turns out that this dangerous film on your teeth is a harmless residue from food consumption, and toothpaste doesn't remove it any better than eating an apple. So yes, you should totally brush your teeth, but not because there's this dangerous residue, and now I can't unfeel it. The psychological trigger is baked in, I can't not feel it, and I feel judged because I maybe have this dangerous coating. This same dynamic happens today with the $100 billion hair care industry. They push all sorts of scary ideas about dirty things lurking in your hair that only their product can fix. And they get very rich because of it. Telling you that you have grease in your hair makes you feel dirty psychologically. And what it does is it turns these naturally occurring lipids or fats in your hair, which are totally protective and naturally occurring, into this gross feeling, dangerous thing. And more these commercials have these like fancy 3D diagrams to make it feel totally legit and medical. There are medical.
And I mean, like, listen, there are times where I think, you know, it is necessary for you to wash your hair. Like, say if you get covered in like gasoline or something, or you know, you're doing some extremely dirty work and get freaking dirt and all sorts of crap all over your hair and your body. Like, you're gonna have to take a shower, and it's probably wise to use shampoo to kind of get all that nasty dirt and stuff out of there. But I do think that even scaling back and not washing your hair as frequently could be healthy also. I'm taking it to an extreme right now just because I wanted to see what would happen. And it's like a science experience for me. And my hair is also short. But I did experience a lot of the same things with this, where at first my hair felt greasy. So what I did is I would go for like 3 days without washing my hair. Then I'd wash my hair and condition it, I think. And then, you know, after like a week of that, I started doing it where I was like, okay, I'll go longer and see what happens. And for me, at least, the same thing happened where it kind of just has like evened out, and my hair doesn't feel insanely greasy anymore. There is random days where I think like when I sweat and stuff, it's like my hair produces more oil, or maybe I just think it is, and it'll feel worse. But a lot of times just taking a shower and having like water run over my hair makes it not feel as oily, and I feel good again. But again, I have short hair right now, like extremely short hair. So we'll see what happens as it gets longer. But I'm also going bald, and I had a theory that maybe like it was making that worse by me washing my hair every day too. So we'll see. Who knows?
Things here, like dandruff, is a real skin disorder. That's something that has real symptoms and should be treated in a real medical way by a professional, not by a commercial with a fake doctor showing you 3D diagrams to sell a product. And no, this lady is not a legit doctor, she's an actor. Well, we're on the point of dandruff and itchy scalp.
They don't do that.
That dry scalp, which is not a skin disorder, it literally means that you don't have enough hydration in your scalp, is not dandruff.
But he's scratching his head. Could be dandruff.
And yet, they share effectively the same symptoms, itchy, flaky. But dry scalp, unlike dandruff, is caused in part by, wait for it, shampooing too much.
Yep.
Drying out your scalp
Over-moisturization.
by stripping it of its natural hydrating oils. This was my problem in my 20s. I didn't have dandruff. I thought I had dandruff because I was shampooing my hair too much and it was drying out my scalp and making it dry and flaky. All of this gets conflated when corporations present their advertisements as legit science that's meant to help you feel better. But let's just quickly say it like it is. The only thing they're doing is trying to sell you a product to make sure that you feel like you need it as much as possible. Where this becomes totally below the belt, in my view, is when these commercials tell the story of how you will be socially ostracized if you don't.
It's like the same idea as like razors, and they'll try and tell dudes like, you know, the more razors you have, like the more blades on the razor, like the better, the cleaner, the more precise the shave is. But as a man who has shaved for many years, I can tell you that some of the best shaves I've have been straight, you know, razors, where it's like a barber shaving with one blade, or getting like a 2-blade or a 3-blade. And as long as it's sharp, you know, it does the job. And I've also noticed too, I've learned something as I got older, and when I've shaved my head before, the thing that reduces like having shave like bumps or nicks or things like that is using like a really moisturizing shampoo, or not even a shampoo, but a lotion, and like after you shave, you put your, you know, moisturizing lotion on there and allow it to sit and soak into your skin. And a lot of times that would take almost all razor burn away from my face. I might get a little bit here and there or on my head when I would shave it all the way. Um, you know, obviously I don't shave my beard as much anymore. I just shaved it recently. Gonna let it grow back out a little bit, but I'm gonna kind of try and keep it lower. But point being is that, you know, like moisturizing your skin also can be really good, but yet they make it out to be like, oh yeah, you need all this and you need an aftershave product and all that. Dude, I just bought like a regular good um deep moisturizing lotion, and that's the only thing I use. And like when I shave my head, you know, if I use a razor, I'll just shave it down, and then I use like a conditioner instead of like a shaving, like shaving cream or anything like that. You just buy a good like, just I usually try and find like a healthier one that has actual like oils in it, etc. That's supposed to like naturally, you know, supposedly be healthier for. I don't know if it really is, but generally the conditioners will work. You'll put it on your head, and it basically serves the same way that a shaving cream would to fix the problem. So just some interesting things.
Don't use their product.
Use Head and Shoulders every day.
And this gets to the last point I want to make here, and potentially the biggest reason why I made this video. I don't care about you shampooing your hair. You probably should. You need to determine that on your own. But let us just recognize that we are social animals. We live and die by what others think of us. We strive to be accepted by the group at any cost. And my big fear here is that we have given the power of what we need to do to be accepted to these big corporations, these giant machines who use this psychological dynamic to sell us more of their stuff. They have successfully turned hair into a discussion of hygiene and cleanliness, and now we talk about this almost as a form of epidemiology. Cleanliness and hygiene turns into an issue of health and safety, which, let's be honest, brushing your teeth or washing your hands, that stuff is there to stop us from spreading diseases. I haven't washed my hair in 5 years, and there's not some virus that's gonna pop off my head and go infect my family. Oh, that's a very strange image. Head virus. There are real skin disorders having to do with the scalp. Those should be treated seriously. But my sense is that we've conflated that. We're not talking about health and disease prevention a lot of the time. We're talking about beauty and self-perception.
Yep.
That's not epidemiology. That's personal psychology, personal self-esteem, and societal standards. That feeling of being dirty or greasy, who determined that feeling? Who set the parameters for that feeling?
I mean, it's the same thing with like clothing, everything along that. You know, they try and sell you the idea that you have to look a certain way to be like in style, to be considered like dressed well. You know, you have to look a certain way, wear a certain kind of look. You know, they do it with women even worse, I think, than they do it with men. And they convince you guys that you need, you know, 5 different levels of makeup and lip gloss and eyeliner and yada, yada, yada. And don't get me wrong, it can look good, but it's also like, you know, I'll see so many people that it like really damages their face too and gives them like a lot of acne, and then it's like this vicious cycle where they don't like being seen without their makeup because they have, you know, bad acne from their pores getting clogged from the makeup, and it causes you to get acne. And then, you know, it's just this vicious cycle of them continually putting on makeup to try and make their face look great. And it does, but then it makes their natural face look even worse. So then they don't feel comfortable going out with their natural face anymore. And then they're just stuck in this perpetual cycle of, you know, makeup, no makeup when I'm at home. As soon as I leave, I got to put my makeup back on constantly. And it's like they basically sold it as like, well, you can't be as beautiful if you don't wear makeup and learn how to do makeup properly. And it's a lie that they tell people. And I'm not necessarily anti-makeup. I'm just saying that I think there are pros and cons to everything, and people should be a little bit wiser and understand what's really going on.
It's not nature. It's not epidemiology. If you had been born 50 years ago, you wouldn't have that same feeling of being greasy. It's not natural. And even in 2021, if you were born in Spain, you would less likely have that feeling of just being dirty that drives you to consume more and more of these products, which helps you build the nearly $100 billion hair care industry, a huge portion of which is owned by just 3 companies, L'Oreal, Procter & Gamble, and Unilever, which find a million ways to feel like you are dirty, you are undesirable, and if you don't use their product, you will be ostracized from society. Just look at these commercials.
What's wrong? Take off your hat.
No, it's dry.
Dry Head and Shoulders, dry scalp care.
These companies have cracked the code on what drives us, and it's fear and a desire to be accepted. And this isn't just with hair, this is with a million of these products that tell us that we're inferior. And if I'm saying this as a man in this society, it is 1,000 times worse for women. So, am I here telling you not to shampoo your
Hey, what did
hair?
I say?
No. Do whatever you want. You have a totally different
true.
hair experience than I do. I'm sure stopping cold turkey like I did probably isn't.
You know, and I've said this before, and people have gotten mad at me and told me that, like, you don't know what you're talking about, Patrick. You're not a woman or whatever. And I'm like, I am literally telling you, I am not telling you that it is wrong what you are doing or that you shouldn't do it. Just think about why you're doing it and why you think that you need to do it. Because, you know, I think there's a decent amount of men out there that care far less than you think they do about how much makeup you wear. And I feel like, you know, maybe you're doing it for women. I've heard that excuse a lot, that, or, you know, maybe it's not an excuse, maybe it's true, because I do think, you know, there is the social acceptance that you get from your peers. So I could see women peer pressuring each other into doing it more, but it's also like a vicious cycle where you're never going to be happy with yourself, your body, and how you look, because, you know, without just spending as much money as they can possibly suck out of you to, like, make yourself more beautiful, when in reality it's like a lot of you are beautiful women. You just don't see it. You've been tricked.
The right choice for you. All I'm asking you is to scrutinize your standards and who is in control of the narrative of.
And yeah, and if you don't believe, you know, if you think this guy's a psycho, look at his face right now. He's a psycho, dude. He's trying to sell you something. Don't listen to him, man. Just think about it. You know, there's a reason that we have behavioral psychology, and people have done a lot of study into why people like the things that they do and why people continue to buy and purchase and consume the products that they do. And with every year that goes on and every phone, you know, usage and data that they use to track what you're looking at, what you're Google searching, what videos you watch, you know, companies have a clearer and clearer picture of what they need to do in order to get you to feel pressure and obligation to buy the product that's going to, like, solve the problem. So you should be careful, because that's what they're setting you up for. They do it in gaming all the time. I made a whole video about this. You know, this whole pay to win thing falls into the same category, where these mobile games have for years been tracking and figuring out how to get as much money out of you as possible. And now they're bringing it to mainstream gaming, like on the consoles, where you spend money because they figured out the psychological things they need to feed your brain in order to convince your brain that you need to spend this $5 or whatever. And it's, you know, it's going to get us. This is what the guys play a lot more video games than girls do. They're coming for us now too. They figured it out, selling all these other products, and now they're bringing it to the gaming.
Clean even means. Okay. That's that. Speaking of the psychology of self-esteem in the 21st century, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is Better.
Oh, so we're going to stop right here. You know, check it out. I really don't know what BetterHelp is. I'm assuming it's like some counseling or whatever. If that's what you need, that's what you need. But just to say, like there's always a reason that people are trying to convince you to do the things that they are. Never forget that they are trying to manipulate you because they want somebody who consistently buys their product. So anything they can and will do that can shift your perception and make you believe, that you need to do this, they will do. And this does not just fall onto makeup or shampoo or anything like this. This is all products. Um, and it's, I don't know if it's even if we can even stop it or anything like that. But I think bringing awareness to it is never a bad thing. So without further ado, peace out. Thanks for watching. Like, click, comment. Tell me I'm an idiot and that I'm like a conspiracy theorist. I'm ready. Probably not ready, but I'll try. All right.